I love what the Atlanta Hawks are doing. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Clutch B-Ball TV. I hope you guys are having an amazing day or night. And today I'm going to be talking about the future of the Atlanta Hawks. I'm actually a fan of where they're headed as an organization, their team as a whole, just adding veteran players that can help out these young players. Because in my opinion, these young players aren't going to learn how to win on their own. You got to add in players that have experienced winning, add in these veterans that are solid as well that can contribute to this basketball team. And I like what they've done this offseason. If it's drafting an Onyeka Okongwu from USC, this instant impact guy right away on the defense side of the basketball, is kind of the complete opposite of John Collins. He's an athlete, but he also plays defense, and he can knock it down from mid-range territory. Not much from beyond the arc. We'll see. Well, I think he's really going to put in the work. If you do not know, he dropped over 30 points on Zion Williamson when he played for Chino Hills with LaMelo Ball, LiAngelo Ball, and Lonzo Ball. I definitely do think he's an intriguing prospect. He did have the foot injury. I thought he was going to drop, but I was actually surprised the Hawks went on to draft him, and I thought it was a good pick by the Atlanta Hawks. If it's getting Rondo in free agency, getting Danilo Gallinari, apparently they're going to be coming out with Bogdanovic as well, but that's what the rumors are. I don't know if that's official. Don't take my word for that whatsoever. But as you guys know, in the 2018 NBA draft, they went on to draft, originally the Mavericks drafted Trey Young, the whole Luka Doncic and Trey Young trade. A lot of people make fun of the Hawks because of the whole trade, but at the end of the day, they're both good basketball players. Trey Young is an amazing offensive player. His range from beyond the arc, great playmaker. Definitely needs to get better on the defense side of the basketball. He's actually one of the worst defensive players I've ever seen. I'm not even roasting, that's just a fact when it comes to Trey Young. But he's no question about it, the best player on the Atlanta Hawks. I like Kevin Huerter from Maryland. They have some very solid players. Cam Radish from the 2019 NBA draft, DeAndre Hunter from Virginia. Cam Radish was supposed to be a top 5 pick if it wasn't for his disappointing collegiate career, his 1 year at Duke, due to his efficiency. He was definitely taken for his potential and upside. And then DeAndre Hunter, a nice 3-and-D player who's not flashy, but he equals winning basketball in my opinion. I really like where they're moving, the Clint Capella move, and I like what they've done in free agency so far. So if you take a look at the Atlanta Hawks, the Atlanta Hawks last year, of course, did not have a great season, but they did have a lot of young talent, and you got to see Cam Reddish improve in the second half of the season, and Trey Young's efficiency went up. You got to see flashes of Kevin Huerter, the great shooter he can be, and now I just think they added a great combination of veterans and young players so far, and that's going to be nasty if they go on to get Bogdanovic, because he fits their timeline as well. Like, if I was a Hawks fan, I would be like, Bogdanovic would be a good pickup in my opinion. They have great shooting, and just adding more shooting would be absolutely amazing. And Capella's a good defensive player, DeAndre Hunter's a great defensive player, and Cam Reddish has potential to be a good defensive player if he shows full effort on that side of the basketball, which I think he will. He's really been putting in the work. In my opinion, everyone has potential on the defense side of the basketball. I really think it's effort and technique on that side of the ball. Gallinari, he's not a fantastic defensive player. He's pretty solid in my opinion. Rajon Rondo's a solid defensive player. I thought it was good bringing a guy like Rondo and Gallinari. Rondo coming off of a championship. He's experienced winning in his NBA career, winning a couple titles, one with the Celtics, one with the Lakers, which is crazy because the Celtics and the Lakers were a big rival back in the day, and the Celtics beating the Lakers in the NBA Finals. Gallinari with the Clippers, just being in the playoffs in general, and they're good basketball players. And in my opinion, you could have all the young talent in the world in a starting 5, but if they don't know how to win, it doesn't matter. And yes, you can go to the playoffs and you could experience winning that way or losing and learn from the atmosphere, but having those veterans could definitely help out, like telling you what to do in a certain situation, maturing their game and that type of thing, knowing what to expect. And that's always a great thing, like the Oklahoma City Thunder. We all knew they weren't going to have Chris Paul long term, but I bet he really helped out Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, giving him that experience in the playoffs, which I bet was amazing. Even though Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was in the playoffs with the Clippers, it's just always good to have that guy of Chris Paul that knows how to play the point guard position the right way. He's a very mature style of play, but it's always great to have a mentor to really help you out throughout the season and mature your game as a basketball player. And you could be like, okay, I can do that the next time. That's a certain pass to make at this part of the game. And it's just always good to have a mentor or someone that's been in the NBA for a very long time, even if they're not the greatest of player in the world. For example, like a Tyson Chandler, he's not the greatest of right now, but when he did join a team like the Houston Rockets, he helped out some young players on that basketball team. But I just thought they did a good job bringing in Gallinari, bringing in Rondo. They got depth. Gallinari, I'm not sure what they're going to do with that, if they're going to start Gallinari or they're going to start Onyeka. And if they start Gallinari, if he doesn't do great, or you might just really up Onyeka's minutes and put him in. But in my opinion, of course, we all know, going to start Trey Young. I'm really interested to see if they're going to start Cam Reddish, to see his improvement, to like have that combination of like competing but also rebuilding at the same time. I'm not really sure what they're going to do because, in my opinion, they have their starting five of the future. I like Cam Reddish. I like DeAndre Hunter. They just have to develop, and it's their job to really put in the work, and the coaches as well, to get the most out of them and put plays in the playbook that you really play those players throughout their strengths and what they're good at. But if it's Trey Young in that lineup, Cam Reddish, DeAndre Hunter, Onyeka, or Gallinari, I think they're going to start Gallinari because I don't think they gave him all that money to be a bench player. Yeah, Capella, and you'll even have good depth if Onyeka comes off the bench. Guys like Kevin Huerter coming off the bench, Bruno Fernando. I really like the direction the Hawks are moving in as an organization. Do they have their head coach? That's a big question. I'm not really sure if Lloyd Pierce is their coach of the future, but I just think they've done a great job not rushing the process, bringing in a guy like Gallinari that fits his team, could help out these young guys, but could also contribute at a very high level. And I guess he just really loved what the Hawks were doing, and that's why he wanted to go there, or it was the money. But at the end of the day, I think they did a good job adding these veterans and young players. And if they get Bogdanovich, I think that would be great in my opinion for the Atlanta Hawks. Let me know down below your thoughts and analysis. Do you think the Hawks are moving in the right direction? Are you glad, if you're a Hawks fan, that they didn't rush the process and go out there and pay someone for like a lot of money? Like, I just thought Gallinari was a really smart move, in my opinion, especially because John Collins is not a member of the Atlanta Hawks anymore, or he's not going to be in the future. In my opinion, he brought in a guy like Onyeka. Maybe Gallinari could teach Onyeka some moves on the offensive side of the basketball, add new moves to his arsenal, because he's not the greatest at spacing to the outside. But I think they really brought in a guy like Rondo, Trey Young, help him out on defense maybe, and then the opposite with Onyeka and Gallinari. Gallinari help him out on offense. That's a little outside thinking of the box. But thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, guys, have a humble day or night. Peace out, y'all.